podcast.
You listen to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Oh, beautiful, man. Woo! Slip and Dip podcast back in your life, fresh off the heels of a very, very competitive 247 main event. Jon Jones and very controversial Texas fashion. Johnson, Matthew Wells, Slip and Dip podcast was second row cage side and saw every blow up close. I had it 3-2, hit it 3-2. I'm not gonna be upset. Top stem is Valentina Shevchenko. Showed why she's one of the top 2 female girl and she's assassin. Caitlin Chookagian. Now that lasted 3 rounds. I'm surprised it lasted 3 rounds. Back on it.
Yeah, it was a fantastic fight, fantastic main event as well. I think the main event surpassed my expectations because I certainly expected John to have a lot easier night at the office, and Dominic Reyes showed up and proved a lot of people wrong that he is that dude, and he was serious, man. He gave John all he can handle. He won the fight in my eyes. I scored it 3 rounds to 2 for Dominic Reyes. I'm not mad, like you said, at 3-2 for Jon Jones. It was just that good of a fight, man. That good of a fight.
46.
Yeah. No, 4 rounds for Jones is crazy.
Either.
100%. I could not get on board with that. But yeah, it was a fantastic fight, man. Dominic came and brought the fight to John from the word go. He got in his face, threw them hands, kept John on his back foot for a little while, even tripped him up once, put John on his back. You don't see that happen to Jon Jones. We don't see that.
The thing is, he talks about all week, and swag was on a confidence factor, not scared, and he came, he's like, hey, I'm going to get knocked out, but I'm going to go down taking chances. Y'all see what I'm talking about. I don't be talking, I'll be up on the mic and on the UFC Fight Pass panel. I really know what I'm talking about. You saw what he did, and you saw what Kayla Chookagian did, and all it got her was a instant L and a free trip to the hospital. Well, Dominic, yeah, he's bruised and battered, but they got people that wanted a immediate rematch with John, which I don't think he's gonna get.
Yeah. No, I'm not about immediate rematches, especially if you are the challenger coming in. If John were to lose, of course John gets an immediate rematch. That's just how it works when you're a dominant champion like that.
But I will say this: if they fight somebody, say for instance they fight each fight in June, July, and then they both win and they fight again at the end of the year, I'm not mad about that. That's how it should lay out.
Yeah, we'll see, man, because everybody obviously this weekend has a huge bearing on it. Speaking of which, let's talk about our guests on the show this week.
so deliver it for y'all. Let them know that lineup, Matt.
So on the show this week, guys, episode 132, Corey Anderson, potential title contender for Jon Jones. Jon Jones said he's going to be in the building for that. Jon Jones doesn't get no fights. What is Jon talking about? This must be a major fight. Corey Anderson fighting Jan Blachowicz, or Blachowicz, however you want to pronounce his last name, whichever way is the correct pronunciation. That fight's going down this weekend, UFC Rio Rancho in New Mexico, and that's going to be a hell of a fight. Corey Anderson joins us on the show. Also, Kayla Harrison, PFL champion, millionaire, two-time Olympic champion, on the show. First gold medalist on the show, I believe. Olympic gold medalist, right?
Yes, first gold medal. We've had a bronze medalist, and then had a gold medalist.
Yes. And last but certainly not least, one Anthony Rumble Johnson is also on the show today, making his Slip and Dip debut. So stay tuned for those interviews coming your way in just a few moments. Now, back to UFC 247. Co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko, Caitlin Chookagian.
I can't say I'm surprised. Like, one thing that Dominic Reyes did that y'all people need to take note of is he put if you're a challenger, he put the game plan. No matter if you fighting Jon Jones, Valentina Shevchenko, if you fighting somebody that's transcendent, a pantheon great, a dominant champion, you have to take chances and be able to live with the consequences to be able to do things that people don't expect you to do. That's exactly why he did what he did. Caitlin Chookagian, on the other hand, I want to single her out because other people have done this. She said all the right stuff, but her body language didn't match it, and we saw what happened to her.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I don't know if any amount of correct body language or skill could have done enough to take out Valentina, man. I'm just saying, I think Valentina's just that much better than Kayla Chookagian. And one thing, Chookagian, her game plan had to be to go in there and take rounds off of Valentina because she doesn't finish fights, and that's hard to do. It's hard to win rounds off Valentina on alone because her skill level's so high. But hey, she wanted to go in there. She jumped right into the buzzsaw, got that kick caught, found herself in the crucifix, and got elbowed out.
I just saw that she like make sure she was all right after whooping her ass.
Yeah.
I didn't say it's like she's like a silent assassin. I can hurt you. You okay? Okay.
Exactly. She's like, okay, it's over now. You good? You good? All right, ass whooping's over. Yeah. No, Valentina's a beast, man, and we're in this position now once again where it's like, okay, who is going to challenge her? Who's going to be a legit threat to her title reign? Not named Amanda Nunes.
I think it's gonna be somebody that's not in the UFC right now, but it's gonna be like a Macy Barber type that don't care, that's gonna come forward, but it's gonna be way more well rounded than Macy Barber and be a little bit more seasoned. It's gonna be that. It's gonna take that type of fighter to be able to push her at 120.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because nobody can knock her out. If I'm sitting there at 125, I'm a female. I've seen her go 8 rounds with Amanda Nunes and not even get buzzed. Who does that?
That's
So it's like she can't do that at 135. What can I do at 125?
That's insane skill level right there. That's being solid everywhere the fight goes, on the feet, on the ground, in the clinch, wherever. Valentina Shevchenko is incredible, and I mean she's every accolade that she's getting. You know, like you said, Halle Berry, doing movies with Halle Berry, trying to expand her brand, stuff like that. Yeah,
she's trending towards that. Everybody keep looking for the next Ronda Rousey. We might see her. She has a way to go to get to that transcendent mainstream level, but she's heading in that right direction. Like a lot of these females, like our girl JJ and stuff, be trying hard on the social media. Valentina's already there. She got the movie roles. She's starting to get the name. She got the A-listers coming to see her. Now we can see if she can go on and branch over even more. When my mom started asking about these fighters, because you know, watch nothing about UFC, I know you hit mainstream.
100%. If you're watching this right now, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. We appreciate it. One more thing I want to talk about on this card. There were a lot of good fights throughout the night, but Houston's own Derek the Black Beast Lewis came through with the flying knees on Alir Latifi. Once the clinch would break, Latifi's game plan was hold down. And that wasn't enough for the Texas judges, man, because Black Beast was trying to knock his head clean off.
Yeah. To me, this put scoring highlighted to the fine print, because the Texas judges used the new way of scoring versus the antiquated way. Oh, you got a takedown. You win the fight. You know, you didn't do no damage. So I'm glad they actually got this one right, because they got a lot wrong on Saturday night, but this was one they got right.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, when you're in there with a guy as powerful as Derek Lewis, you don't want him to throw any punches at you. So I don't blame Latifi's game plan. My thing is that if you're gonna get him down to the mat like you did, I need more offense. I need more transitions. I need you to work to do something, and you really weren't trying to do all that. It was more like you're just content with holding him down.
Did that show you how much power Derek Lewis? People talk about how bad the fight with Francis was. Francis didn't want none of him either. Who else has got Francis been scared to get hit by? Nobody talks about that.
No, yeah, no, it's crazy.
They go 2 ways.
100%. So check this out, guys. We got a lot of videos up on our YouTube channel. Go over there, watch these videos, hit the thumbs up on these videos. Exclusive content with Jared Cannonier coming out. Stuff throughout Fight Week. We got
the Wilder exclusive.
Yeah, 100%. We got an exclusive video with Corey Anderson in his training camp coming out later this week as well, before his fight. So a lot of good stuff. Go give these videos some love, man. We would appreciate that. We would appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all helping us grow the brand. We got a lot of love out there. Meeting some of the people. I got stopped a couple of times. I think Matt did too. And he took a couple pictures. Something did move it up in the world.
Man, grab yourself some merch as well, guys. We got the merch link in the description. I'm rocking the hoodie right now. We got the t-shirts in the store too. So pick yourself up one if you want to show some support for the show, or if you don't want a shirt or a hoodie and you just want to show some support, Cash App, Venmo, right there for you. Hit us up. We would appreciate it. Episode 132, man, it's a fantastic one. You guys are going to enjoy Corey Anderson, Kayla Harrison, and Anthony Johnson heading your way right now. Next week will be a little bit different. Kendrick will be covering NBA All-Star Weekend, but I will be here. Ant Walker will be here joining us on the show, and we'll see what else we got cooking up for you as well.
Thanks to us being hands-on. We got a lot of big guests coming your way. We may have somebody that fought in a great fight this card, so be on the lookout. We're going to be keeping the glass slanging and banging Houston style.
100%. Enjoy the rest of the show, guys. We will catch up with you next week. Peace.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast. Friend of the show, one of the best UFC light heavyweights in the world today. Could be in line for that future championship title shot. He fights this Saturday at UFC Rancherio. Real Rancho, I got to see that.
Like,
He don't even know. Mr. Corey Overtime Anderson. Thanks for coming back with us, Corey.
Yeah, no, thanks for the invite. Love being on the show with y'all.
I'll get straight to business. What is your take? The floor is yours about what happened. We both were their second row ringside. I was a few people that had John winning, but what is your take on everything? Because both fighters, though they fought great, you definitely could beat both fighters just with your style.
I mean, I think it was a close fight. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, could have went either way. I said it when I was at the bar. I was here in Albuquerque watching. You could just feel in the air of this John Jones' hometown or where he trains. You could just feel in the air. A lot of the fans and people that was there that was cheering at the beginning were super quiet at the end. They thought he probably lost. But I was saying, like, it depends, man. It depends on how they're looking at it. He was pressing forward. I mean, Dom outstruck him the first three, but John was the one pressing forward, and he was doing an oblique kick and initiating a lot more. So, I don't know. I could have went either way. But it was a close fight.
How much do you think his experience won the fight last night?
Say it again.
How much do you think his experience won the fight?
In the later rounds, 100%. That's what won him the fight in the later rounds. Fourth and fifth round, they experienced the fact that he had fought 5-round fights for 18, 19 fights. So it was like it was nothing to him. It's just another walk in the park. As for Dom, you could see after the third, it was getting tough on him. You know, he tried to keep fighting. He had the heart of a lion. He kept wanting to keep fighting, but he couldn't do what he was doing in the first, second, and third as he did in the championship round.
You think that the blueprint is kind of out on John now? Because we've seen in these last couple of fights where guys they figured out, hey, you keep that pressure on him, you can hit him. And that's what Dominic was doing as long as he could. But it was like, as the fight started to play out, he started to let John control that center more, circle on the outside more, and he was starting to counter. Whereas like in the first 2 rounds, he was the one leading the attack, and that's what was working better. But it just seems like the guys that, you know, when Thiago was being aggressive, he was having success. Dominic was being aggressive, he's having success. When Gus fought him the first time and was being aggressive, he was having success. But John always seems to lull people to sleep and lull them to sleep. Slowly but surely.
That's art too. You know, that's an art as a fighter. To be able to lull somebody to sleep, make somebody slow down. You know, I've been guilty of falling into that lull in a few fights. You know, I'm a high-paced guy, and you get comfortable, and you see that guy just sitting still. It's like, all right, I'm going to sit still too. He dying down. All of a sudden, he going to turn it up on you, and that's when you get caught and you get thrown off guard. But, I mean, yeah, a lot of people see that. I'm sure if they see the fights, all the fights are super close to the ones where they take damage. It's when somebody's pressing forward. I mean, if you actually pay attention to film and you know that, you're going to implement that. But the thing is, it's hard for a lot of people to press forward for 5 rounds, as you see.
No doubt. And that was the thing. When we were sitting cage side, we were like, if he could keep this up for 5 rounds, you know, we might have something happen.
Third round, we said that. We didn't really talk. We sat next to each other, didn't talk, so we have everything fresh for the show. We didn't know. I don't even know what he was thinking until we start talking today.
Well, Mike Jackson was on my other side, and me and him were saying that, talking about like the pressure, and we noticed after the very first round how sweaty Dominic was. Like he was pouring sweat, and John was still relatively dry. So we were like, that's some of that inexperience gap right there. You know, it looked like he was putting too much in the shots. I don't know.
100%. I mean, that's how all his fights were. He got all those first round finishes. What, 14 or 13 fights now, and 10 or 11 of them was first round finishes. 10 of them, and that's because he comes out blazing. He does that guns blazing, running forward, and he usually catches people early, and they get put out real quick. So he ain't used to exerting an energy. He hasn't figured out the levels of picking shots, pepper and pepper and pepper, and waiting for the opportunity to sit on them. If he had that, 100% he could have made it 5 rounds. But you can tell when he came out bouncing around, his little walk he was doing, and I said it, like, he's going to go out there and blow his load. He's super excited. He's pumped. He's determined. That's his thing. He was determined to do what he does. And I just had a feeling he was going to blow his load. And in the first round, I got my teammate out here with me as we get acclimated in New Mexico. I looked over at him, and he's Brazilian. He don't speak English. I just started going, look at him. I pointed at the screen and said, look. And he was like, yeah, he's tired. Like, exactly. He pushed the pace too hard. He pushed way too hard in the first round and blew his load early.
Here's a two-part question. One, were you surprised that John couldn't take him down really and control him with them supposed to be having this high wrestling pedigree? And two, when it comes to Dominic, do you think he put the blueprint on just MMA in general? I know you're a fan of the sport. I trip out when I be watching these people that they fighting somebody that's got a reputation of a John or Valentina Shevchenko, and they turn either to a sparring partner or they don't fight. It's like, well, this is not MMA. This is a fight. And the fact that he came to fight and had that fighting spirit, do you think more people should copy that? Like, prime example, his body language all week. He was talking noise, swag was on the 15, and he did, for the most part, what he said he was going to do. Kayla Chookagian fighting Valentina Shevchenko. Said all the right things. I got something she don't got. Da-da-da-da-da. Body language at a 2. She got a free trip to the hospital last night.
I mean, I think Kaylin did everything she just couldn't get, because Kaylin trains with us too, and
Oh, she do?
and we all knew it, that Valentina was just strong. She's super strong, and you go out there and you do what you do, stay at the end, and she was doing good. I don't think she really got hit with much from TV. It didn't look like she was getting hit with much, but when she threw that kick and Valentina stepped in and caught her, and that's when we knew she would be in trouble if Valentina got her hands on her, because she's just so strong. We think not in trouble, but we didn't think she would get up from the bottom. And when I say we, I mean like me and my wife, what we was talking about. I don't know what the rest of the team, what those guys talked about. But in my eyes, I knew Caitlin had what it take to beat her, to keep from getting hit. Valentina is a great striker, but Caitlin was so long, her movement was so great. And I was pumped for her, but I just knew if she threw that kick and Valentina didn't respect it, like most people, you respect they kick and they bag up. And I knew after a couple of kicks, when she hit her, I could see it in Valentina's eye, and her and the way she was presenting herself, like, it wasn't bothering her. She was going to come in. Like, these kicks aren't hurting. I'm going to keep coming forward. And I knew it was only a amount of time before she caught one. And she just did that for, 3 rounds? Yeah. Each round, she caught it. In that third round, when she got her down, she went right from not staying in the guard because she couldn't damage. She went to passing the side and mounted her or crucified her. And that was just a tough position to get out of when you got somebody as strong as Valentina. But, yeah, I know Kayla. I talked to her yesterday morning. She meant it. She was ready for business. She was excited. She was pumped. It's just, some things happen. You go out there against somebody at a higher level that's better at something than you, and they put you in that situation, ain't nothing you can do about it. And Dom, on the other hand, he studied. He believed. He was undefeated. You heard it all week. You got a guy like that hasn't tasted defeat yet. Their confidence is up here. So everything they say is sincere. A lot of people think it's cocky, but it's like, no, nobody's gave me the reason to believe otherwise. Why would I change my mind? I'm the best in the world. I'm going to go out here and beat him. He went out there and showed it. He did exactly like he said. Like you said, he did just about everything he said he would. He took it to him, and just at the end when he started getting tired, like, I even went on Twitter and said, yo, hats off to Dominic Reyes. He went out there and did his thing. Can't take nothing from that kid. That kid went out there and showed heart. Even when he was tired, he never quit. He was bagging up, but he was still trying to fight on the back foot.
So how does the way that fight played out kind of affect, or does it affect your mentality going into your fight this weekend at all? Because, everybody's talking about, even though Dominic lost, he's super impressive. He's the future champ. He deserves an immediate rematch.
They didn't call the future division.
Yeah. Dana said he's going to be the future of this division. So does that put any extra pressure on you going into your fight this weekend?
Nope. Pressure bursts pipes. You know what I mean? I mean, you go out there and break game fights. I gotta go out there and stay calm. Like Big Tate told me, the cut man told me, what was it? When I fought OSP, I was in the back and I was yawning. He said, "That's the best you should be before a fight. You relax. You ain't think about nothing. The fact that you get ready to go out there and you yawning right now, it means you relax. That's the best place you can be." And that's always been my mindset. I don't let anything pressure me. I don't want to think about what ifs and what's next and what's going to happen. Like this morning, I woke up and it was cool to see the media, media and the casuals and MMA and UFC is now they saying my name. Corey's gonna be the one to beat John. His pressure. He can got the gas tank for 5 rounds. Corey can wrestle. Corey can do this. And it's like, yeah, it's cool to see, but don't forget, I got a fight in front of me Saturday. I ain't looking past that. But at the same time, I ain't gonna let that pressure get to me. I'm gonna go out there and do what I plan to do in every fight. And that's dominate. If you saw the first fight, if you saw what I did the first fight, my third fight in the UFC was only 2 years fighting experience. Now we are 4 or 5 years down the road, and I got 6 year experience. I actually have jiu-jitsu at the time. I had a white belt. Now I'm actually I'm a veteran. I'm comfortable. I'm confident. I'm ready to go out there. It's like Ali said, I took my bumps and bruises. My jaw's been broke. I've been knocked down a few times and I came back. I'm smarter this fight. You know what I mean? And it's been 4 losses I've had since that fight. I'm way smarter and confident this fight. I'm determined. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. Just like when Kenneth came to the gym and I told him, like, I've been here. I've lost. I've won. I've tasted it all now. I've tasted it all. I've been put to sleep in practice with chokes. I've tasted it all. And I have no fear when I go out there. But I'm comfortable. I know what I'm going to do, and that's to dominate. I go out there to beat guys to where they're not going to go home and say, well, the next time I can beat them. No, I'm going to finish you off, and it's going to be a decision or whatever it is. And when it's over with, you're going to know if we fought again, it's going to be the same thing. And I guarantee you, Jan thinking that because if you saw the first fight, he knows.
When it comes to John, does it trip you out? He sits there and says that basically he said this multiple times in interviews that he gave Dominic Reyes the opportunity because he's finishing people. He's a more scary guy. John's really not finishing people other than a washed up Alex in the last 5 years. So you want technically the DC one if you want to give him that. Does that trip you out the fact that you're doing the same thing he's doing? You're winning in your hand raise, but he's kind of glossing over that.
Nope. I mean, that's just like the casuals. They all say the same shit. You look at social media every day. When it comes to fight stuff, if my name brought up, like, oh, Corey ain't finished somebody in such long, blah, blah, blah. Now I beat Johnny Walker and I come out. Oh, it's a fluke. People are always going to have something to say. They always going to say something to take away your credibility. And I just look past it. Like I said, I don't think about it. I worry about me. What people say, what the media say, what Dana say, what my manager, whoever, coaches, what they say ain't got shit to do with me. It's all about Corey at this point. If Corey is focused and Corey believes, that's all that matters. I'm going to go out there and do what I do. As long as I get my hand raised at the end of the day, my job's complete.
100%. And coming into this fight against Jan, I mean, this rematch, 5 years ago was the first one?
Yep.
Yeah,
5 years.
Yeah, 2015. How much have you seen any evolution in his game since then?
I mean, not much evolution. He just got better at what he does. Like I said before, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a guy that can do one thing great is a dangerous guy, as well as a guy that can do a bunch of things pretty good. And that was Jan, excuse me. A lot of people who go back after losses and they change up their whole style. They want to do something different, blah, blah, blah. Nah, not Jan. He just went back and tightened up his game. He got tighter defense. He got better wrestling defense. He got better on the ground. He continued to do what he did, but just did it 10 times better.
What do you think about a guy that you fought recently, or 2 fights ago? He fought last night as well, but you chased him off the light heavyweight. You chased him up to heavyweight, Latifi. What do you think about him last night?
I mean, to be honest, I think the judges screwed him too, man. I know y'all Texas boys and all that. I know
Corey, what did he do, though? He got him down and he didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything.
He threw him on the cage. He took him down. If you look at the punch count, the little punches he threw didn't do no damage, but he threw way more punches than the Black Beats on the ground. If you go counting that, if you go by scores, obviously that should have won. 3 takedowns, cage control, and those little punches, the little rabbit punches. It's something. It's points.
I tell you one thing, it got him booed out the building. He was getting booed out the building last night for that.
Black Beast. Like, Derek Lewis from H-Town, of course they're going to boo him. They want to see him bang. That's what he's known for. And the Lear didn't want to do that.
I tell you what, the funny thing though, on media day, Derek was talking about, somebody asked him how did he want to win the fight, and Derek was like, "I want to win by controversial hometown decision."
Hey, I saw that this morning. He did it.
That dude's hilarious, man. That dude is so funny. Yeah, and I mean, so what's your fight week look like, man? Because you're heading up. I mean, it's you're the, huh? No, I know, but I mean, like during your fight week, I mean, are you gonna be exploring much? You gonna be just chilling in the hotel room? How are you gonna be kicking back this week?
Fight week is always the same for me. It's like I'm in a camp, man. Cell. I gotta come back to my hotel room. Not relax, chill, study film, study over my notes, whatever notes. I got PS4 here. We'll play PS4 a little bit, but I don't go out much. I don't go out again really until after weigh-ins. Weigh-in night is the night I spend exploring and walking around late so I can sleep in the morning. But for the most part, I might go to the store or something there, but I don't spend much energy walking around and sightseeing through the last 7 days of the week. I really can't.
One thing I did notice last night that was kind of interesting in the post-fight scrum that John did, he said that he's actually going to go to the fights and sit cage side to watch you and Jan throw down just to get a closer look at you guys. So what do you make of that?
Have your eyes open and ready, because I'm about to put on the show, baby. And it ain't gonna make no difference. Like I said, it doesn't matter if he was there, if he was in the referee's position, if he was one of the cornermen. I don't give a fuck where he at. I know shit. Somebody gonna get the message. Regardless, he gonna know what happened. So that he's cage side. That's even better.
So you get your hand raised, and are you gonna have a message for him?
We have to see when the moment happens. Those things that can't really be planned out. I don't live a scripted life. Everything I do is on the fly from the heart. So we'll see how I feel at the time. I might flick the crowd off again. I might push another ref. Who knows? But it depends on what happened. Things just happen. I jump up and I don't remember it until I see it on film.
On a lighter tip, did you see the Israel Adesanya and the Yoel Romero dance off?
Yeah, I saw. That's the first. Old man, still out there busting backflips and splits.
And he pops up, he's like this. He tripped me out. He turns into a real emoji. And
Yeah.
do like that. He does his thing. That was what made it so did. It was cool that he did what he did, but he just sounds like what?
Yeah, like what? That's surprising. I didn't do nothing.
That was too funny. And then people, if you want to grade it, the backflip and the split was the highlight, but the setup though with the sea walk.
Yeah.
He walk in like he's 25.
Jump right into it. Didn't even pause.
They was like this. Like I think that was the last thing they thought he was gonna do. There's a lot of things going through their head. That was not in his head.
He thought he was going to hold them back from fighting or some shit.
That shit was wild. I tell you what, though, for a dude, like, I think that moment right there sold that fight for everybody. People that were on the fence about, like, he's on two fight losing streak, getting a title shot. But then you have moments like that. People are like, all right, we're good now. Let's see it.
Mm-hmm. They're like, damn, it's an athletic ass dude. I can't wait to see what he do in the fight.
That's wild. That shit's wild. Yeah, it is. It is. But so again, going back to your fight this weekend, man. How much do you want to get a finish? Are you looking for it, or are you going to be just taking the fight as it comes? But I mean, I think it's kind of like you're kind of like in this spot to where people are clamoring for that rematch with Reyes for Jones. And it's like, okay, I think people are kind of sitting on their hands a little bit, like, okay, we'll see what Corey does. Because a lot of people were talking about, even during media day, is Corey going to be next for you? Is Corey going to be next? Asking John those questions. So
I mean, I've never really go out there looking for a finish. Like I said, I go out there to dominate. If the finish comes, it comes. But like I said, I think I was talking to who was I talking to? I think it was Ali. I was talking to, but no, it wasn't Ali, but whoever it was, I said I'm gonna go out there like Usman did, Rafael dos Anjos. You know, that's how he got the title fight. At the time, it was supposed to be Kobe Covington fighting Tyrone Woodley next for the title fight. It hadn't been announced yet, but that's what they was looking for. Then Usman went out there and dismantled dos Anjos for 5 rounds. He didn't finish him, but he picked him apart. He made him look bad, like he was never even a title holder. And guess what? Next thing you know, they announced Usman's getting a title fight. So, as my wife I was telling, it doesn't matter if I go out there and finish him. I can go out there and catch him with something, and yeah, that'll look exciting. But if I go out there and dominate for 5 rounds and make it just look bad, like it not even a contest, like you said, a sparring match, or I was rolling around with a jiu-jitsu dummy, and it's like, okay, this kid's real. We set this rematch up thinking either one of these dudes could fight Jones. And he just went out there and did a walk in the park on Jan. He definitely should get the fight. So it can go either way. But at the same time, I'm not going out there thinking I need to finish. Like I said, that's just more added pressure to somebody. That's when you get caught. You start chasing something. You're chasing something that ain't there trying to make it happen. And you walk into something. You just go out there and do what you do. I go out there and do what I train the whole game, the whole fight week, the whole game plan. And if it goes like we plan, I shouldn't have any problems.
How does it feel to make somebody a sparring partner? Because you've done that in the last couple of years quite often. And it's like they're in the cage with you. They thought things were gonna go one way. You're imposing your will on them, and just like we watching you up in New Jersey, in the mean streets of Newark, just ragdoll them all over the cage. How does it feel to be doing actually when you're actually doing that and turning somebody into a sparring partner and make a fight that everybody thought was gonna be competitive into a non-contest?
It's just another day on the job to me. You know, that's the mindset. Even in practice, like I ain't trying to hurt none of my practice partners, but I want to go out there and dominate. You know, I don't want to. When I finish a practice, I'm always gonna have some criticizing. The coach is gonna tell me I did something wrong. But at the end, I want to feel like there's no question this is a fight. I dominated. You know, and that's the way it is. My practices are going to be harder than my fight, and I make sure that I recruit hard guys in. I got the kid Bruno Capozella here now. He's from Brazil. He's fighting the PFL this year. Kid's a monster. He's like 13-4 or something, but 13 knockouts. All his fights is knockouts. He finished people with head kicks and ground. So I was like, okay, I need this dude. He came in last camp and helped me. Like, I need him back. He's perfect for Jan. Same height, same size, 205, hits hard. And we went at it 5-6 rounds all camp, every time we sparred. And I had these other kickboxers and good guys, strikers coming in, swinging heavy. But eventually, I find my rhythm. And then again, I take over. And that's just how I'm good at adapting. I got really good fight IQ. When I put the pieces together, it's just trouble for everybody. I can move, I can strike, I can kick, I can wrestle. And like I said, those sparring matches and those wrestling practices are the hardest ones I had. And then when I get into the fight, and then just once that bell go off, it's kind of like, all right, just another day on the job. Like Coach always say, just go in there just like you're in practice. That's the same thing Mark tell me every time. Act like when you hitting pads or act like you sparring in practice. Just go out there and do what you do. And that's just because I train the same way I fight, with intensity.
One of the other things also coming out of last night was the conversation about scoring these fights, right? Do you agree or would you disagree with the notion that we need open scoring in MMA?
I think the scoring should change, but not just the scoring. I don't think last night was so much the scoring. Last night was just the judges they had. Like you heard them early in the fight. The judges weren't even paying attention. And I've been to fights before, and I've witnessed it. Cage side, actually, when I was in San Antonio, I went to the fight in San Antonio. And me and my man Mike Baker.
Boy.
Yeah, man, like, me and my man Mike Barker was looking like, yo, those judges ain't even paying attention. Like, they don't even be looking at the cage. They don't be looking at the screen. They just be, I don't know what they're doing. They just there, collecting a check, whatever it is. And it's sad. But I've seen it in Vegas. You see it everywhere. It's always going to be one judge or somebody that's not paying attention. And it's just, like Ricardo Almeida said, he judges in New Jersey. He said they should do a thing where they put the judges in a separate room in the back with only TVs. They can't hear the crowd. They can't do. They have to watch. See, There's no way you can judge if you ain't paying attention. Have somebody in there watching them, making sure they're paying attention, and then they write down the score on one piece for that round, and they take it and they do the next round, each round individually. But trap them in a room where they can't be affected by the crowd, they can't be staring around looking at nothing, and make sure somebody in there watching them, making sure they pay attention. Because no matter what the score system is, if the judges ain't paying attention, they still gonna be fucking us. You know what I mean? If you don't know what's going on, how you gonna score it? You can't.
That's that is true, and it was kind of disappointing to see that get caught on camera last night, especially like during one of the most competitive fights in the night, Andrea Lee and Lauren Murphy. Like,
Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, like the judge ain't even, not even, what are you doing, bro? Like, you're there to judge a fight.
So, they get.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we just got to do something different. We got to find a new way. It's got to be a different way. Can't do it the way the Olympic boxing did with the counters and the gloves, because that was just whatever it was. They had that controversy years ago. And now we got people there visually paying attention but not paying attention. So it's like, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I think, though, I think if there was open scoring to where you know for sure what you're going into in that fifth round, like, oh, I'm down 2 rounds on 2 judges' cards? Psh, all right, I got to swing for the fence. Oh, I got to get you down and I get slap on the submission. I got to go super hard rather than being like, oh, I think I'm okay. I think I can just do okay in this round.
But at the same time, it still wouldn't matter. Say you think you're down. You think you're down. You went out there and you go hard. But if the judges ain't paying attention, they still going to put down the same score. So it really doesn't matter.
But it does.
You think about
it does, though, because if you get a finish, the fight's over.
Okay, if you get
I'm saying, if you're down 2 rounds in a 5-round fight, you know you have to get a finish.
Yeah. If you got to get the finish, that's different. But if you don't get the finish, you don't always get the finish. It's UFC. It ain't like I can just say, I'm going to get a finish now and it's going to happen. You know, not everybody can talk it into existence like Conor McGregor, you know. You go out there and you fight. You do everything you can to put guys away. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. That's why you in the UFC.
Sure.
We know you studied these interviews. Did you hear the interview when John said, Mr. Corey Anderson, really good fighter, seemed to have that little chip on his shoulder, might have to knock off in the future?
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
He said he want to bite it.
He said he want to bite it. He wants to eat that chip up.
I know he be watching the videos. I appreciate you be watching videos. I trip out, not necessarily in MMA, but in boxing all the time. I don't watch that in the video I'll be doing. And I ain't gonna talk to that MFer. He said such and such. If you ain't watching the video, why would you know that? So I'm sure you keeping it real, because boxing cats always be watching hardcore, and they act like they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that interview. You can come get it. Come get a taste. But like I said, I ain't worried about it. I got to worry about Saturday first. Saturday is the fight in front of me. Right now, that's the title fight for me. That's the biggest fight of my career. That's the championship fight for me. You know, it's a 5-round fight, and I'm going against a guy that's ranked 6th. I'm ranked 5th. He's dangerous. I'm dangerous. Everything, all that sounds good. He want to get this chip off my shoulder. He can come get it when the time comes. But right now, we're worried about Jan Blachowicz. We're worried about February 15th in Santa Ana, New Mexico. I got to go out there and do my job, do what I'm supposed to do. And right after that last bell and decision, whatever it is, then we can talk about everything else. We can talk about whatever John wants to talk about whatever Dana said, everybody else. But right now, all that is going in one ear and out the other. Put it in the keep safe and let it sit there until the 16th. Then we'll handle that later.
Boom, there it is. That's a strong way to end the show right there.
Right?
We appreciate you as always coming on and kicking it with us for a little bit, man. And we can't wait to see you throw down this weekend.
And we will hit you up in 2 weeks like we do our tradition, because you be balling. We know we going to get you another call, so we have you on a couple weeks after you get that win.
All right. Sounds good. Thank y'all for having me on.
Saturday. You got me watching a house show. I really don't watch house shows unless it's something I'm really looking for the big picture, or somebody like yourself that I'm invested in. So I'll be locked in on Saturday.
All right. All right, my man. Appreciate it. Right. Later.
Please welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast, make a Slip and Dip debut. She's a 2-time Olympic champion, the best lightweight female MMA fighter in the world, and the 2019 PFL Women's Lightweight Champion, Miss Kayla Harrison. Thanks for coming on. You're our first Olympic champ to come on.
Oh, well, what an honor for me. 2-time.
2-time, yeah, 2-time. We've had a bronze medalist. I think even a silver medalist. We had Deontay Wilder, bronze medalist. We hadn't had a Olympic champ.
Well, there you go. And Henry's only got 1 medal, so can't really count him. He's out of the running.
Has your life changed since December 31st? I'll see you everywhere. You got some Super Bowl love. I saw people that don't follow MMA whatsoever. They were texting me. They're like, "Who's that blonde chick that's just? She looks like a badass." I was telling her, "Man, we like watching her at the." They said that you were in the Radio Row or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were with the big people then.
Yeah, so it was obviously the Super Bowl being in Miami certainly helped, just because I train at American Top Team. So Coconut Creek's about an hour north of Miami, and my publicist got a bunch of stuff booked for Radio Row, and I went to a bunch of parties, and it was really a cool experience. It was fun for me because it was a little bit like a smaller scale of the Olympics, like all of the media is there and stuff, but it's not worldwide, it's just national, and I didn't have any pressure of competing. So it was kind of just like, go talk about my foundation, talk about winning the belt, talk about whatever I want, have fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Are you a football fan by chance?
I am. I'm actually, not to gloat, but you did forget one accolade when you introduced me, and that is that I am ATT's Fantasy League football champion this year.
So you played with all those guys and took the money?
I took everybody's money. I won the whole damn thing. I beat the owner, Dan Lambert. I beat Richie, the manager. I beat Colby. I beat Will Brooks. I beat.
Got a hit list.
Oh yeah, I'm the champ. They all were like sending. It's so funny to me because they invited me as a joke. I'm the first female ever invited. And Jeff Munson. By the end of it, I beat Jeff Munson in the finals. And by the end, or like 3 weeks before 2 weeks maybe before the playoffs, he was like, "What are we going to do if a girl actually wins this?" And then I beat his ass in the finals. And we made a little side bet that's I'm pretty excited about. So, yeah.
So 2020 is profitable for you.
What's that?
2020 is profitable for you.
I know. It's just like
your salary in a month.
The wins just keep coming.
We got to dive into this more. So what kind of fantasy football player are you? Are you the one that like makes trades? Or are you just like, look, this is my roster and I'm rocking with it?
This is my first year ever playing. First of all, these guys are scumbags, okay? Because they invite me to the league, don't really tell me anything about it. I like download all of these. Dan shows me like, oh, you can download a draft, wizard, and you can like practice drafts and stuff. So first of all, he told me that we were a 10-team league, but we were really a 12-team league. And then
that makes a big difference
I show up to the draft, and the draft picks are only 30 seconds long. So I'm like wigging out. But of course, I found a way to overcome all obstacles in my way, mainly because of Lamar Jackson. Nice. And yeah, I started off, I think I lost my first game, and then I won like 5 straight, and then I lost one, and then I won however many after that. So I only had two or three losses this year. But yeah, they were all talking crap. I didn't make any. I made like, oh, that's the other thing. None of them would trade with me. First of all, I didn't know what waiver wires were. I didn't know like any of this stuff. I didn't know about bye weeks, and like you have to make sure that you're not playing a player who's on. And I still found a way to win. And we looked at like the history. I think Dan Lambert made like 40, like his team was like 12% of the original team that he started with from the draft. And like the most trades or like changes was like 57 or something. And I had made 3 changes like all year long, 3 changes. And so my side bet with Munson was if he beat me in the finals, I had to wear a Jeff Munson shirt and go on social media and put Jeff Munson kicked my ass. But if I won, he had to wear the outfit of my choice to the end of the year ATT party, which is next week, and he has to serve me drinks. So be on the lookout on social media for Jeff Munson in a leather bodysuit.
Oh wow, that's savage. Oh,
So is there anything that you're not competitive in? Or is that what makes you a 2-time
No.
Olympic champion?
No, I'm still that 29-year-old that races you to the car. Like, I have problems.
I get it. I mean, hey,
Hey, we teach you on a winner's mindset. You can do a lecture on winning.
This is how winning's done.
All right.
so you've done some things like, I mean, just in the short career, 7-0, you're already making millions of dollars. That doesn't happen in MMA. It doesn't happen. So it's kind of like, I mean, you're in this special position not only with the Olympics, but I guess coming along at the right time as well with PFL, because
Yeah.
if PFL wasn't around, you'd probably be, I don't know, maybe in some promotion overseas. If MMA was the same career path, maybe like a Ryzen or something like that. And they don't pay out like that. They don't pay out if you win, you know, their tournaments or their Grand Prix like that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
how has it soaked in? I mean, I guess like how lucky
Not
everything
really.
has come to.
I mean, money has never really been a major motivator for me. Obviously, I did a sport that in the United States is not very popular, unless you're a gymnast, a track and field athlete, or a swimmer, you're not really going to be making a ton of money in endorsement deals as an Olympic athlete. I never did it really for fame or anything like that. And my coach said something to me when I was younger, because I moved to Boston, I was 16, I was broke. I had $200 in my pocket. And I complained, I guess, a lot about money to him. And he said to me, if you want money, win, and the money will come. And I took that to heart, and I've sort of just been living that way ever since. And yeah, MMA has really, it's changed my life, at least financially, but also in a lot of other ways. It's really nice to go from, doing the same thing over and over for 20 years and being pretty broke to sort of starting to see your fruits of your labor come to fruition and start to reap some of the benefits of it financially. So although I'm young in MMA, I feel like I'm pretty old in the field of athletics. So the $1 million happened for one fight, but really it happened for 20 years of fighting to find my place and find my calling. And I mean, I'm a lucky son of a gun to wake up every day and do what I love and get paid for it. So
100%. And like you mentioned already, you're over at American Top Team, and of course you're kind of like got the stranglehold on your division. Another lady that has a stranglehold on hers, Amanda Nunes. Everybody wants to see you guys compete, but it's like you guys are from the same gym. I'm sure you trained a lot together. So it's like that's just one of those fantasy matchups that we're never gonna get.
Different weight classes.
I mean, it's tough. Like, I look up to Amanda a lot. Obviously, she's a big role model for me. She's one of the reasons I moved to ATT. This was before she fought at 145 pounds, but I mean, she's just a beast, and I knew that if I wanted to be the best, I had to train with the best. So I look up to her a lot. I don't, I just re-signed with the PFL again, and I don't know exactly what her plans are, but that would be, a weird circumstance for sure to have to fight. And I'm so young in my career right now that it's kind of unrealistic for people to expect, in my opinion.
So what is your ultimate goal for your career? Like, how long do you want to do this? Are you going to do a Ronda Rousey? Hey, here I am. Bye, there I go.
I haven't really ironed out those details yet. I knew when I retired from judo that I was done. I had accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. It was time to walk away from the sport. And I want to go down as one of the best to do MMA as well. I have all the records in judo, and I feel like I'm capable of shattering records and shattering ceilings in MMA as well. So I'd like to do it for quite a while. I don't know how long. I am a chick, so if I want to have a family, that kind of, ticking clock plays a role in my decision making. But right now I'm married to the game, so we ain't got anything to worry about.
Do you think for you to get the recognition that you want, that you have to come to the UFC next year or the 2 years, or you wait till Amanda retires? 'Cause I know Amanda is closer to the end than to where you are.
Yeah, I think, obviously the UFC has done a really good job of monopolizing the sport and making it so that they have a lot of the best fighters, and a lot of the prestige, a lot of the PR. So that's something that I struggle with internally. Like, in order to be the best, do you have to go and fight in the UFC and win a title with them? I don't know. I think probably. But I'm hopeful that, the PFL is changing the game, and it's a company that I truly believe in. I'm proud to be the spokesperson for them. And, if I can start my career and end my career with them, I won't be sad about it. But am I going to be able to accomplish all of my goals there? We'll see. Who knows?
So one of my favorite things about you, Kayla, like when I watch your fights, is your reaction to your performances. You never seem like you're happy about anything. It's like you go out there and just dominate the hell out of these girls, and you're just like, nah, I can do better. Nah, I'm not happy about this. It's just like, it just shows you how competitive you really are. But at the same time, like, you're so dominant already, I don't know who's going to be that lady out there that's going to test you. I don't see that person out there on the horizon yet.
I think there are a few. It's hard. It's hard for me because I am my own toughest critic. I want to go out there and I want to instill my will every second of every round, of every exchange, of every minute. I'm that girl that, like, I have just started getting used to the fact that if someone hits me in sparring, it's okay. Like, I used to get really pissed off. Like, I used to be like, oh God, I let him score. I don't know if it's just because of judo. Like, if you get thrown, it's a lot harder to win the match or something. Like, if you get caught, chances of you winning go down, decrease dramatically. So I don't know if that's like my mindset in MMA, like, oh, they hit me, I'm losing. Like, but that's how I thought for a long time in practice and in fights. And, I really, really, really want to be the best. And I really want to, it's like hard to put into words how badly I desire that, like how much I want it. So when I go out there and I don't have a perfect performance, I'm hard on myself, but I'm also learning to roll with the punches, literally. And, sorry, that was bad. And just take everything in stride and realize that I am getting better and I am making improvements, and, one day at a time.
Like, along those lines, when you are so critical of your performances, how quickly are you to go back home and watch film?
Well, Mike and I usually go back to the hotel room and watch it right after the press conferences. So
Okay, so immediately.
I don't even go back home. We go back to the hotel room and watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But give me a little bit of insight of like what those conversations are like when you and Mike pull up that film.
Usually it's me talking about what I did wrong, or like what I felt or what I thought in the fight, and Mike saying, oh, you did this well, or you did that well, or, oh, I see what you're saying about this position, or, just kind of breaking it down and looking at it and seeing what went well and what went wrong, and just kind of critiquing the performance while it's still fresh in my mind. And then we bring it back to the gym and we critique it some more and we break it down some more and we keep going and going and going until we've, gotten rid of all the kinks.
Have you gotten over your championship performance? To me, it was dominant, but you were like it seemed like you were pissed that you didn't get that finish.
Yeah, I mean, I just like.
You won it every minute of 25 minutes, though.
I know. I'm proud of the fact that I can go 25 minutes. Like, I was always, that's always a scary thing to championship rounds and stuff like that. But I felt like my training went really well. My gas tank was on point. I felt like I could have kept fighting. And I feel like I learned so much in that fight that you just don't even know what you don't know, kind of. And you're literally putting yourself in the cage and locking the door. And it's just, it's so exhilarating. But like the first exchange, I got kind of poked in the eye and I was like, oh shit, this is what an eye poke feels like. Or like at one point, I think she kneed me and I was like, oh, like you don't really throw super heavy knees in practice. So I was like, oh, this is what a knee feels like. At one point I rolled my ankle and I was really pissed off at all of my teammates because everyone told me like, oh, in a fight, you don't feel anything. Your adrenaline's pumping so much. You don't feel a thing. They're liars. I felt that completely. And I was like, oh my God, I rolled my ankle. It hurts to walk. It hurts to walk. What do I do? Like, just all these things that you have to deal with in a fight. Like, you have to figure out a way to win and you have to dig deep. And so, yeah, although it went 25 minutes and I didn't get to finish, I feel like I grew so much as a fighter just in that one fight that it's invaluable experience that I'm not going to be able to emulate or get anywhere else. So it was good for me.
Well, you want people to know about Kayla Harrison, the person that you got. You got so many different hats on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty boring. I guess I would just want people to know about my foundation and that I wrote a book, and that they can learn more about that. I would, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of my, besides obviously winning 2 Olympic gold medals and being a world champion in the sport of MMA and being a millionaire is really cool. And these are personal goals that I have for myself, but I don't feel like they're my purpose. You know, I feel like they're all very selfish and self-serving. And, you know, one thing that I really truly believe in is giving back and using whatever your story is or whatever your passion is to find a way to make the world a better place. So my foundation, the Fearless Foundation, is my way of doing that. In the book, which is called Fighting Back, is my way of taking my personal struggles and my personal story and hopefully changing the world a little bit.
But you're a fighter at 145.
Yeah.
What about 135?
I mean, whoa. All right, let's relax. I walk around at about 165. So yeah, I think I could make 145. I think 135 is probably knocking on death's door. I don't believe in
do it though. I mean, it's like 160.
I know, but I just don't believe in it. I think it's super unhealthy. I think it's super dangerous. I think it sends a bad message to young boys and girls. I think, like, first of all, we're doing one of the most dangerous sports in the world as is, you know. Then add dehydrating your body 30 pounds of water, which water is what protects your brain, and then go step in a cage and get punched in the head over and over again. I think it's just a recipe for disaster. And, you know, I don't want to be a bad role model for kids, but I don't. I don't know.
Your point. It's like it makes so much sense that it don't make sense because I trip out like we both covered UFC 247. We're the all fight week, and dudes are like 15 pounds off weight. Man, I'm good. You gotta be on that scale in like 24 hours, bro. Hey,
No,
that's cool.
but like your body can't. I don't know. Like I train at the weight that I step in the cage at, you know, because that's where my body is comfortable, and that's where I feel like, okay, I'm not stepping in there as an entirely different person. And I just don't think you can put your body through that kind of trauma, because it is trauma. Like you're literally dehydrating your body, your organs, your brain, everything, and step in the cage 24 hours later and be 100%. And whenever I step in the cage, I want to do everything in my power to be the best possible version of Kayla in that cage. So, you know, killing myself to make a weight class because that's what society deems is necessary for me to do, or that's what people think is going to make me a better fighter, I think is stupid. Like, that's not true. You know, if you want to win, you find a way, and it doesn't matter what weight you are. You know, real fighters find a way to win. I mean, obviously, I know that weight and all these things do play a factor because we're in this type of sport, but I think that the benefits of cutting weight don't outweigh the positives of not cutting weight. Like I just feel so much healthier mentally, physically, you know, even in training. Like a lot of people focus on like how much weight they lose or how many calories are burning. And all I focus on is getting better. I don't think about my weight. I don't worry about my weight. I don't stress about my weight. I eat what I want. You know, I'm not stressed about life. Like it's just a better way to live.
100%.
Don't get this man started. No, you got him started, Kayla.
No, you got me started because I loathe weight cutting. It makes no sense. Like I could get why guys did it early on in MMA, but now when literally everybody is doing the exact same thing, everybody's cutting 15 pounds just for the scale, and then they're gonna rehydrate back up to that same 15 pounds. So you're coming into the cage at the same weight, but hey, let's do this real crazy thing where we both step on the scale at this lower weight to give an illusion that we weigh something
So
the day before. And it,
ridiculous.
Like you said, it's just unnecessary trauma putting on the body. And like, okay, let's go do this thing before we go kick each other in the face, in the head. and punch each other and try to choke each other out. And
Does it make sense? No,
No.
absolutely.
I hate it. I hate it. I want that to go away. If that's the one thing I could change in MMA, it would be that.
Yeah.
Right up there
I
with
mean,
fighter pay would
That's
be
because
number
there aren't
2.
a ton of weight classes for women, and I think that the men's weight classes are, extremely saturated. I wish that, I don't know, it's tough. In judo, there are 7 male weight classes and 7 female weight classes, and they have like these random, weigh-ins. So like we weigh in judo, you weigh in the night before as well. But then the next day, they pick 4 people from the tournament to randomly check their weight. And if you're over 5%, like if you've gained more than 5% of the body weight back, you're disqualified and you're not allowed to compete. So it kind of stops people from doing the major dehydration and rehydrate process.
And what's the gap between the weight classes?
So for women, it's 48 kilos, 52, 57, 63, 70, 78, and 78 plus. And then men is 60, 66, 73, 81, 90, 100, and 100 plus.
That seems like it's more consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I cannot stand weight. Let's change that. See, that's what I'm glad, like a person in your position who is, at the top of the game are so, like, you have that stance about that. Because champions, like even in the UFC, champions are like, yeah, I'll cut weight. I will go down in weight. You're a champion of a weight class, and I want to go compete in a lower weight class, which makes no sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think it's just part of like the monopoly dictatorship that the UFC has.
The way she said that. You said like do you have a degree? Did you go to college?
No, I didn't. I mean,
you have a nice business acumen, so props to you.
Well, thank you very much. I think that's just being old. I'm wise beyond my years.
But you talking about the monopoly. Like, does it bother you like there's no fighters union or nothing like that? Like, I was telling people all week, like,
one of the things that really blows my mind is like, so last week during the Super Bowl, I went to all of these parties, and one of the parties I went to was the NFL Players Association party. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, damn, we're stupid. Like,
see, I get talked about. I'm crazy because I'm a journalist that covers multiple sports. I'm like, there's a reason the NFL's worth $15 billion. There's a reason it's been around for 100 years. There's a reason the NBA's been around for 75 years. It's like, let's not take none of that. It's like, it makes so much sense that we not gonna do it. It doesn't make any sense. And then, like, for y'all perspective, like for CBA, like they made a big deal that John Jones has been tested so many times. And the thing is, he got brothers in the NFL. They can't touch them more than 3 times. Oh, but they have a CBA. So
right.
It makes so much sense. Why don't you take some of that and bring it into your world and make your life a lot easier?
I really wish we would. I don't know even how to get that going, but it's like we're kind of like we're idiots. We don't understand we have all the power. But I don't know. People just are afraid. They're afraid of like, unless you're a champ, like this is what sucks about the UFC. First of all, they pay crap. I think like less than 15 or something fighters make over $1 million per fight. But they're, multi-billion-dollar industry. I think 13% of their profits go to the fighters. Like that's all of the fighters, 13%. Like 13. The NFL is 50. Minimum wage to play in the MLB is $500,000. Like, but if you have your first fight with UFC, I think minimum is like, what is it, 8-8 or 10-10 or something like that? Like,
Be up to 12-12 now, I think.
Oh, sorry, 12-12. Forgive me. That was extra 4, really. Wow. So it just like, and I think that the problem is that like, if you say no to that 12-12, there are 50 guys behind you who will say, I'll fight for free. I just want to be in the UFC. Like, it's aggravating. And the people who are in power, the people who actually have power, the champions, they're getting paid enough so that they take care of their family and they're sitting pretty and they feel good. So why would they put their neck on the line for these other fighters who aren't making that? I mean, it just sucks. The whole thing sucks.
Hey, you're natural fit. You didn't hit both of our platforms on the head. You was like, it was meant for you to come up on here. We agree with you 2,000%. It's like, boom. I like these guys slipping dip. They got my philosophy. We just use
For
common sense
sure.
over here. We're about winning, making it happen, and common sense. That's the marks of a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and PFL champ.
Sign me up.
100%.
Yeah, no, it's just I hope that slowly it changes, and you know, there has to be a little bit of a power shift. I think also the sport is just such a fast growing sport. You know, it's just exponentially. It's the fastest growing sport in the world, and with that comes a lot of hopefully new competition for the UFC, like the PFL. You know, this isn't the same thing as the UFC, even close. It's literally based on the destiny of the fighter is in their hands. If you want money, win. If you want a title, win. And it's just like the NFL, and it's just like the MLB, and it's just like the NBA, where every year, like the Patriots didn't get a bye to the Super Bowl this year, did they? No. Then that's because like every year you have to put that shit on the line again, and you have to go over. Like I'm only the 2019 champ. I haven't done anything in 2020. I have to go prove it all over again. And I also get the opportunity to go make a ton of money all over again. And I like that. I like the sport aspect of MMA. I don't like the entertainment aspect. You know, I'm a shit talker, but usually only to my friends and usually only in good fun. I'm not really about like, I'm not an Instagram model. I'm not like, I don't know. I don't want to have to sell my soul, to reach my dreams. So that's one of the reasons I love the PFL. And I hope that other organizations continue to grow and change and create healthy competition for a company like the UFC.
Last question for me: if you got in the UFC or somebody paid you good enough money and they kind of had you have to go that route, would you, or that you just stay in character? Because as you know, people in your neck of the woods will walk up on people like you do in the streets. You got some real gangsters on the male side, particularly. Is that something you would do if you had to do it to get that big fight? Cause that's like the new thing to do is bring a real quote unquote real kind of primal.
Sorry, wait, what's the question?
Would you basically to get a fight? Would you like walk up on somebody, do something that's kind of like out of character, but that's like the new thing everybody's doing? That's kind of
No.
primal.
No, I think that's stupid. No,
Yeah.
I just find it obnoxious, and I get it. Like business is business, and you got to put food on your table. But like I said, money doesn't motivate me, so I'm just gonna be so good they can't ignore me. That's it.
That's really pure, and there's a lot of things that's pure about you, and I guess like the PFL side of things, where it's a sport, you show up, you win, you get the championship, you get paid, and I like that, and I wish that's how it was in the UFC, but it's not. Like you got to do these crazy things on social media, you got to do things to get people riled up to be like, oh, did you see somebody point his finger in his hand, like do the little, all that kind of craziness, but.
Actually, don't even follow any kind of like it's actually kind of bizarre. Like someone who lost his last fight is two guys who lost their last fights are now fighting for titles, and they didn't even do anything crazy on social media. They're just getting titles.
Living off past successes, and they're getting title shots. Yeah.
Not that I'm talking shit about them in any way, shape, or form. As like, of course, you get an opportunity, you take it. That's what you do. This is the dream. This is the goal. This is the life we live for. But they just don't make any sense to me as a business sometimes.
Well, there she is, guys. Kayla Harrison joining us on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Didn't even.
Yeah, we appreciate the time as always. Follow her on social media at Kayla H, and we look forward to seeing you do your thing once again in 2020.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Please welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast. Something I've been trying to get on the show since the very beginning of the show. One of the hardest hitters in UFC history, former UFC light heavyweight championship contender, Mr. Anthony Rumble Johnson. Thanks for coming on, Rumble.
What's happening, man? Thank you for having me.
Well, so what's Rumble up to these days? I see you everywhere, hanging out with NFL people, being a security guard for a bare knuckle. You everywhere.
I'm just trying to, stay, keep my name out there, stay positive and hang out with good energy and good people. So I'm trying to participate in everything I can.
Will we see you back in the octagon and UFC, or do you even care if you're to the UFC? Do you always want to get in, period? Like if Bellator got you a deal, or does it have to be the UFC if you would ever come back and fight?
Well, I'm still signed with UFC.
Oh,
I got 2 more
okay.
contracts. I got to finish that, and then we'll see what happens.
Speaking of the UFC, we were at UFC 247 last night. A guy that everybody has been wanting you to fight. Everybody's been wanting to see that Jon Jones Anthony Rumble Johnson fight. Did you watch the fight last night, and what did you think about how it played out?
I actually thought Reyes won the fight, but it was an extremely close fight. But I would have given it to Reyes 3-2. But when you fight the champ, you gotta when you win, you gotta really go in there and win. You just can't backpedal a lot and expect to win a fight. You know what I mean? John had an excellent game plan. He let Reyes chase him. You know what I mean? And capitalize, off of the mistakes Reyes made, which he didn't make a lot. He came in with a really solid game plan, which I was really impressed by. But, John did what John does. He wins. Like I said, Reyes won the battle but lost the war. That's what he did.
Which is that somebody excite you to fight? Because he went into UFC when you were there. Which you was watching Reyes? Is that something like, hey, I like to throw leather with him?
I mean, I throw leather with anybody. You know me. It don't matter. Well, I mean, somebody's gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? It's either gonna be me or him. And that's just how I fight. A lot of these guys fight safe. For what? We're in a dangerous sport. So what's the point of fighting safe? When you play safe, you get hurt, you lose. Go ahead.
About taking chances. I trip out when I see these people, like for instance, this whole fight week, I pay attention to body language and everything. Oh boy had swag all week. It was on the 15. Like, I know something y'all don't know. I'm coming to effing fight come Saturday night. And that's what he did. Well, you see the chick that Valentina fought, yeah, I'm gonna be giving her stuff. She said all the right things, but her body language was foul, and that's why she got to figure out to the hospital. Like, why don't people take chances?
Yeah, man, there's levels to this, dude. You know what I mean? If you realize, the ones that are truly great or good fighters, they don't talk much. You know what I'm saying? Because we know you got to have that same energy that you was putting out there at the beginning. You don't want to go out there and embarrass yourself by talking too much, But Reyes meant what he said he was going to do, Like you said, he came to fight. I watched the man, in between rounds, and, you got 10 seconds left, and, you're standing up, you're getting ready to go back out there again. And Reyes had a killer look in his eyes, man. Like he was ready to fight. And he made John look human. That's what he did.
And another thing too is, how come people of course y'all compete in the sport of MMA, but people don't realize at the end of the day it's a fucking fight. You gotta fight, regardless if it's a female or a male fight. Not too many people do that either. It's like he put the blueprint on. If you want to sit there and compete with the GOAT or a champion, this is what you got to do. And people don't take that memo. It's crazy. Because I was like, well, they also look at technique and analytics. At the end of the day, it's a fight. We ain't going to do MMA. We going to fight. And I don't see too many people in that. So I was very excited that I actually got to see somebody do it, and I was there and saw it in person. Because I trip out watching these fights regardless of what champion is. And like these people turning to sparring partners. Like, okay, I went 25 minutes with the champ, but I lost.
Yeah. It's definitely a fight. When you get a certain level, I don't know. It's a crazy sport, and I think people still have a lot to learn about it. It's a fight, but at the end of the day, we're professional fighters. We can't just go out there and start guns blazing and you're dead in 10 seconds, from just being exhausted and stuff like that. So Ray, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm more impressed by Reyes than anybody else from that card. You know, I also feel that Alir Latifi won. He got cheated out of a fight,
You
a
think?
win.
What he do? Reyes did some damage. He didn't do nothing but hold him down and lay on him.
He didn't do nothing.
Derek was trying to take his head off though.
Derek did a little bit, but it was still almost like watching him and Francis fight.
That is true.
Well, that's not his fault that Latifi didn't want to engage, though.
No, he took Derek down, and like
He did
actually helped.
nothing, though. He held him down.
Okay, so check it. Like John was talking about, he won the fight because of the takedowns. Like, let's be real. Like Reyes was getting up within like a couple of seconds.
He popped up.
So no, John didn't win that fight on just takedowns. He won that fight, you know, some kind of way. But
I think the reason why John ended up getting the decision was because he kept taking the center of the octagon and making Dominic circle on the outside.
Yeah, as the rounds got going, he did, you know, control the octagon. You know what I'm saying? He stayed in the center and started putting pressure each round more and more on Reyes, and of course you saw him backpedaling.
Yeah.
So
judges look at that.
Yeah, that's octagon control, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you controlling everything. You're putting the pressure, you're cutting them off, you're setting the pace, and it's a lot to look at whenever you're fighting.
Do you think that sometimes like these guys overthink stuff when they're actually in there or just leading up? Like we were saying a second ago, like it is a fight at the end of the day. Sometimes you just got to let your hands go, and where some guys are trying to overthink things.
Before the fight, for me, I can speak for myself. I don't know how everybody else works, but before the fight, I don't really think too much about it. But when I'm in there, I mean, I definitely think before I throw that kick, and I definitely think before I throw that punch.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to
If you're not paying attention, you're like, you got somebody giving you some, what do you want to call it, some smelling sauce or sniffing sauce, whatever you want to call it, to wake you up. You know, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be somebody's highlight reel.
100%. Yeah, you definitely don't want to end up being on the wrong end of that because you know those highlights last forever. So I get that for sure. But
can't take that back. Take it back.
Yeah, you can't take those back. But at the same time, you also don't want to be that guy at the end of it saying, "Man, I left something in the tank," or you know, I could have done this differently, or the woulda, coulda, shouldas. You know,
I saw Rumble do that personally to Mr. Jimmy Manoa.
Yeah. You know, I had to put something on.
Here's a story about that night. I told Matt this off the air. I never talked about this on air. I hit a Rumble because I was like trying to get my name out there. I said, I'm going to talk to you after you fight because I know you going to win. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to knock him out and then hit me up. We like literally texted through the whole press conference back and forth. My guy goes, meet me up at Crazy Horse 3. I'm in a lot of places in Vegas, but I didn't know it like I know it now. My old lady's with me. She's like, you know, we're going to a strip club. Okay, cool. No big deal. I go up in there the first time. Mom was like, where your girl at? She was all about it, too. We go up in the strip club. And it's me, Rumble, his people, and Tate. Tate said, what's up? I saw him last night. And we up in Crazy Horse 3. We had a good time. I got about 2 or 3 hours. 3 a.m. in the morning. I still got the interview. I forgot about it though, because we having a good time. So we finally did the interview at 4 a.m. in front of Crazy Horse 3, and then I put it online before I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, I got UFC hitting me up. Why you talking to Rumble at strip clubs? But it had 25,000 views, and from that point on, I was on the UFC radar, and people started knowing me.
That's what's up, though. You gotta do it.
Yeah, it was 2015. I was just a random brother showing up in fights to most people in the MMA circle until that interview.
Yeah, that was a fun night, though. That was a fun night.
Like you said earlier, man, you've been keeping your name in the news wire, like, you know, keeping your name out there, doing like the grappling events and stuff like that. Is doing that just enough for you? Do you, like, as you watching all these other guys fight, all these other guys come up, how often do you get that itch, man, and be like, oh, or like, I can take that dude, I can put him out.
Itch, but I'm not thinking like too much about it. You know what I mean? I just want to train and get better. When you start thinking too much, then you burn yourself out. You get tired of it. It takes over you, and I don't want that to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? So I go to the gym. I see my guys. This isn't my first go around. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to it. So this is home. So I don't really need an itch to whoop somebody's ass.
Could you ever go back to 205 or them days over with?
We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see, dog. I can't give you everything, so we'll see.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people
put it like this: I'm comfortable enough in my abilities and my weight that I can fight both with ease.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think the heavyweight pool is there for the taking?
Who?
Heavyweight champion, the UFC heavyweight division. It's there for the taking.
Oh yeah, it's definitely there for the taking. But I mean, there are a couple of monsters in the way. You know.
Who scares you the most? As far as like that's gonna be a tough fight.
What you just say?
Who scares you the most? Like that's gonna be a tough fight. Like you look at him, not like you scared to get in the cage. Like you look at him like, man, I'm about to bring my A game when I fight him. That's what I meant from that perspective. I know you jump in there with anybody. You go up in the street. I already know how you get down.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell myself I got to bring my A game. But once again, I'm not trying to end up on somebody's highlight reel. But I ain't scared of nobody. No. So that word don't even pop up in my vocabulary. And when it comes to me, unless it's got something to do with like snakes and demons and all of that.
Who's one of those monsters that you like? I'm about to go through them if I want to be a champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I just
phrase it right.
Yeah. I do know this as far as heavyweights. There's some big boys, and this is one division where I'm definitely not like one of the bigger athletes of the division. Stipe's big. DC ain't big, but he's short and he's stocky. You know what I mean? Derek Lewis is big. I saw Francis in the gym, I think back in December or January, and he looked like an 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big boy. And I was standing there and I'm like, this is the dude they want me to fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a big boy. He's a specimen. You know what I'm saying? So even though those guys are bigger than me, I don't give a damn. I'll still fight them.
What about Curtis Blades? People forget about him. He basically called himself the unforgotten champion. Is what he called himself.
Curtis is my guy, and I didn't mean to forget him. I actually told Curtis one day, I said, dog, you're going to be champion one day. I told him that. So he definitely has a chance of doing that. You know what I'm saying? Of making that happen. You got the guy that Alistair's fighting. Not Alistair's fighting, but Alistair got knocked out by. Alistair's still in the picture. He's still a threat to anybody.
He was winning that fight until he got caught.
Yeah. The heavyweight division is more stacked than what people realize. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough division. Light heavyweight is I want to say it's tough, but it just has the lighter. We have more athletes. Heavyweights have probably more power, but that's about it. We have the combination of speed and power and athleticism. So I don't know. I can hang with either one. If I feel like knocking a heavyweight out, I'll do that. If I feel like knocking a light heavyweight out, I'll do that. So I mean, either one of them get these polls.
And you know what? I know we said right beforehand, I don't think we've seen each other in person. I did see you in Toronto. You did a press conference, like a little media scrum in Toronto when Max Holloway fought. I was back there for that. And you're not too much smaller than some of these heavyweight dudes. So I'm not just going to let you say that like you so much smaller than them dudes. Maybe Ngannou, but these other dudes, like if y'all are in the cage from each other, like I think the size would be pretty comparable.
I mean, I'm top heavy, you know what I'm saying? I got a wide back and shoulders and whatnot. So that may make me look like I'm just as big as those heavyweight guys, but they're thicker than me for sure. A lot of them just don't have muscle on them. That's it.
Hey, but they don't have the dexterity like your kicks are. I think would be if you step in the heavyweight division in the UFC today. I think you'd have the best kicks right off the bat. I don't think anybody else can compete with you in that.
You see Derek Lewis
Well,
kicks and knees last night?
things, man. Talk like I like Derek Lewis. He's actually like you look at him, he fools you because you don't realize how athletic he is. You don't see big boys jumping the way he jumps and swing the way he swings. Like if he was smaller and like had some rhythm about him, he'll be like pretty dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But Derek is he's a black beast. You know what I'm saying? He does what the black beast does. Can't take that away from him. It's worked for him so far. Let him keep doing it.
100%. And he said he was
He's trying not to go viral.
Yeah, he was saying his back is finally healthy because his back has been jacked up like most of his career. So he's saying like his back is finally feeling good. So that's why he was trying some flying knee. I was like, okay, well, I'm curious to see what 100% looks like.
Derek, you know, just like you don't know if it's his stomach or his back.
He said
But-
he said he laid off the Popeyes chicken for this fight, so maybe that was it.
Yeah, but Derek is one or the other. It's his stomach or his back is messing with him. You know what I mean? But it don't matter. Buddy comes to fight every single time.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let me say to say you're very keen on who's doing what in the two divisions you would compete in, even though you're away from the sport. It's like you got a Rumble scouting report. You got boo. We throw out these names. You can tell you what they do good, what they don't. It's like who you signed that contract to fight soon.
Say what now?
Who you signed that contract to fight soon? You got you some Rumble scouting reports you floating around out here.
I ain't got no names to drop right now. You know what I'm saying? So I can't give you nothing good. But like I said, I should be fighting before the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking around November, December. You know, I want
10 months.
Huh?
A whole 10 months for that.
That mean y'all got plenty of time to get y'all shit together.
TC just showed up on the show.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I just don't want to. I've been gone. You know what I'm saying? I can't come back into a situation where I'm not fully prepared. I'm not going to be one of those guys where they feel like, oh, I can, you know, I got a little bit of cardio. My striking is okay. My wrestling is okay. My ground is okay. All right, I can go out there for 15 minutes and, you know, fight somebody. You can have that mentality, but that's not the correct way to go about it. You know, you need to be on point. You know, I can go out there and probably fight 15 minutes, but it won't be the prettiest 15 minutes for me. You know what I'm saying? So when I go back, I want to make sure I don't have any excuses for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So my cardio won't be an issue. My cardio actually was never an issue. Everybody just don't go out there and swing and kick 100% every strike. You know what I mean? That's the difference between me and them. That's why I got knockouts, and you know, some of them have a couple of battles. You know what I'm saying, or whatnot, a couple of wins. To me, the only ones that can say they have the edge over me are the champions. You know what I'm saying, because they actually have the strap. You know what I'm saying. But other than that, ain't nobody out there going to throw a punch 100%, even if it's you're gonna miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna take my chance. I'll go out there and throw a fastball quick, and if it hits you, it hits you. You know. But yeah, man, it ain't nobody like me out there. So when I come back, I'll make sure there's nobody else like me too.
When you fought DC and you caught him, do you feel like you really caught him? Because to me, it's like you glanced him. Had you really caught him, you might be Anthony Rumble Johnson, UFC champion.
DC's tough. He's super tough. I hit his ass. I hit him fresh, boy. I hit him with something that I ain't never hit somebody with before. He flew across the cage and got right back up. I didn't think it was real. You know what I mean? So, because most times people don't get back up, but I guess the shock just went from his head down to his stomach and then hit his toes. You know what I'm saying? So, but he took it and he ran a clinic on me. You know what I'm saying? He won. That's what it is, man. Can't take nothing from him.
That's something that motivates you to get back on that stage and correct that wrong. Get another title shot, regardless of what division it's in.
Say what now?
That's something that motivates you to get back on that stage and get another title shot, or do you even care about that?
Oh yeah, I definitely care about my overall goal, just like everybody else's, is to win a title. The thing about it, most people wish they could win a title or just want to win a title. I know I can win a title. That's the difference once again, between me and everybody else. And to me, the only people that can say they have the same mentality or the same thoughts as me are the people who are already champions. You know what I'm saying? So I know I can win a title. I've always known I can win a title. It's about me just getting my hair right and putting it all together like I'm supposed to. If I would have had the same mentality I had when I was in high school and college and before my old man passed, dude, I'd be on top of the world. I know that for a fact. Because nothing was stopping me but me. And that's how it is right now. Nothing is stopping me but me, you know, mentally. You know what I'm saying? And like being able to get things completed the way I need to. Nothing is stopping me but me. But I'm my biggest critic, you know what I mean, when it comes to doing certain stuff. So this time I just got to go out there and just not even be a critic, just be a fighter and be an athlete and do the thing. You know what I'm saying? No other excuses. Don't criticize myself. I need to just be a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? I want to go out there and be, you know, great like GSP. I don't want to be great like John. I don't want to be great like Khabib. I don't want to be great like, Demetrius Johnson. I want to be great like somebody like GSP. That mentality, and work ability that he had was just unreal. I'm not saying those other guys don't have that, because they do, but nobody had it like GSP. If I can get my mind right like him, it's over with. That's why I respect DC so much, man. Like, DC hates to lose, and a lot of people call him a sore loser because he cried, or whenever he loses, he gets pissed. But that's passion. That's heart. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody who really wants to win, and you can't do anything but can't do nothing but praise somebody like that. A lot of people cried, like laughed at him and stuff because he cried, even though he was out of it. Still, for a man to be out of it and him crying because he lost, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell, if he was there and wasn't knocked out, he probably still would have cried. Like, that's how competitive and he is. So, I'm trying to be at that level. I know my athletic ability and my power, speed, and whatnot. Everything you guys have seen will get me where I need to be. But it's one more thing I got to get right, and that's just my mind. And I'm there, but I still got a little ways to go.
Yeah, I feel you. We always talk about like the mental aspect of this game is one of those underrated things that always gets overlooked. Have you worked with like a sports psychologist or
No.
anything like that?
No, I mean, I think I did once, but probably, I don't know, years ago. I tried it. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. I can't have somebody else telling me, gassing me up. You know what I'm saying? I got to be able to gas myself up. But everybody's different. So I'm not saying don't use them or I'm against them. It's just not for me. I can look around my crib or look at my car or look at my bank account. Hell, if that ain't enough motivation for you, you know what I'm saying? Nothing is motivation. Nothing gets you right. You know what I'm saying? You should always want to better yourself and do the necessary things to get where you want to be. So I don't need, a sports psychologist or whatever you want to call it to gas me up. Like I said, I look at my bank account and I'm motivated then.
So it would be safe to say that since you've been away from the sport, that you've been doing a lot of reflection and working on the stuff that has nothing to do with the physical stuff part of the game, the mental side.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. as far as the mental side, I don't know, man. I just think, everybody's different. Everybody's got to figure out their way, when it comes to being mentally strong and, getting things done and truly sticking to your word. You know what I mean? When you want to do something, taking the necessary steps to get projects done. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to happen if you sit on your ass. You know where we're from, we got to get out there and get it.
If it ain't
You know
rough,
what I'm
it ain't right.
Yeah. That's how we were raised. That's our mentality, so we got to keep using that mentality and just move forward, and if plan A doesn't work, hey, go to plan B.
100%.
Plan B don't go to plan C. Just keep going. Just don't stop.
100%. I hope you realize like how much people want to see you back in action, because
They came up a couple times this last week.
Yeah, they love your personality. They love the way you fight. They love the way you bring it, and that's what's missing from some of these events as of late. You got a lot of new faces, and not everybody's willing to throw down like you are.
I mean, I haven't really seen any knockouts besides Francis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not really anybody knocking anybody out.
Hey, Dominic is knocking out people too. Reyes, until he walked up to John, he's been putting people out.
Yeah. Reyes was doing his thing, but I don't know. I think it's how you do it. You know what I mean? And anybody can knock somebody out. Anybody can get knocked out. It's about how you do it. That's the finishing touch. If somebody coming in, they just get caught slipping, all right, they get caught slipping. But you get caught slipping with me, you ain't slipping, you just falling. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody, a boxing guy told me, that's a big name guy. He likes you. He basically called you the Deontay Wilder of the UFC. He wants you to come back.
I mean, I like Deontay. He a little wild. You know what I'm saying? He throwing them hooks.
He is wild.
He throwing hooks and jumping into it. He put his whole heart and soul into those hooks that he be throwing. And I like that. I like the fact that Deontay goes out there and fights so hard. He ain't got no technique, but my man's be throwing them bombs. You know what I mean? Bomb squad for real. So, but yeah, I don't like being compared to Deontay Wilder. I really don't want to be compared to anybody. I don't want to be the Mike Tyson of MMA. Fuck that. I want to be the Rumble Johnson of MMA. I don't want to be like nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be remembered that way. I just want to be remembered as me. That's me. I respect all the legends of combat sports. It doesn't matter if it's boxing, MMA, or hell, I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? Kickboxing. I want to be known and remembered as me. I don't want to be compared to any of those guys. They made that mark already. I got to do my thing.
Feel you on that. And I think it's one of those things as well. If you come back at heavyweight, you'd be one of those few people that get finishes in 3 divisions as well. So another thing.
It's a pop.
Another thing. Yeah, another thing that could happen.
I mean, I've fought at middleweight before, which was my very first MMA fight, and I knocked that guy.
Me in the UFC, really.
I know, but I'm just talking about it in general.
Okay.
I knocked my very first guy I fought. I knocked him out in like a minute and some change. I think a minute 6 seconds, a minute 10 seconds. My very first fight. That was at middleweight, and then after that I went down to welterweight, and then I went up to light heavy, and all 3 of those divisions I've knocked people out. Nobody's on the, nobody's made the cut yet for heavyweight. Andre Arlovsky came close, but he was saved by the bell.
Well, we're excited to see what you do, man. We'll be paying close attention to the news wire. Of course, hey, if you want to drop us some news when you get something signed, that'd be great too. But hey, if you
come... y'all know.
Yeah, for sure. So you come back towards the end of the year, man. We're definitely gonna do our best to be there to see it in person. So we're excited, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, brother.
You fight away in America, your boy gonna be there.
Yeah, Kendrick, man, it's so good to see you, brother. I can't wait to see you again, man.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for everything.
Absolutely. Anthony Rumble Johnson on the Slip and Dip podcast. We appreciate the time, man, and take it easy.
You too, man. Take care.